Can you tell us some stories that you've never spoken about anywhere in the media so that it becomes unique for our podcast?
Yes, I think that will be interesting also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Life is not easy even though you chose it properly.
When you have ambitions and when you have dreams and when you don't have the resources, the only solution is struggle.
Today, he is emerging as an inspiration for so many professionals.
I feel proud to be an Indian. And I had developed a passion. I started knowing that there is going to be a tough time. Because when I started this liquid engine, we have no fuel, no oxidizer, no temperature withstanding materials, nothing. What I am going to tell may not be known in public domain. See how Chandrayaan came into limelight, how Mangalyaan came into limelight. Is it a project we have made it or we have declared it, like the Gaganyaan, for example?
Yes.
No, it is not. And of course, we were carrying nose cones and the instruments in a bullock cart, in a bicycle. In fact, I myself was carrying the dart payload by a normal State Transport Corporation bus.
Really?
Yes. So,
What was that story? And he was a fun guy to work with?
yeah, he used to crack jokes, which I don't want to say now because it will. He used to ask for a tender coconut. If nobody is available, he would try to climb the coconut tree.
Really?
Even before he became the Prime Minister, I could sense the passion he has developed for space-related matters.
Achha, you met him before he was Prime Minister?
Yes. He asked for me. I was going through a mill of this espionage case. The Chief Minister or the state of Kerala was against me. The
The
state
central
of
government.
Tamil Nadu was against me, and the state union government was against me. That is the time this gentleman, who is a Chief Minister of a state of India, Gujarat, is asking for me. I said, all right, let me go and meet him. So I met him. Basically, he wanted to know what is this case about, how things are going on. When I made this movie, I somehow felt that this movie must be shown to him. And he was emotional and he asked, are you saying that this has happened? This has really happened? I said yes. In fact, what we are showing you is less.
Today on the GDP podcast, we have a very special guest. Thanks to him, India's space dreams became a reality. But his own dreams came crashing down due to a lie. He was falsely accused of espionage. He was humiliated. He was tortured. But he didn't break. He didn't give up. And he came back and he bounced back and he made the system realize its mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Padma Bhushan awardee, aerospace scientist and a national inspiration, Mr. Nambi Narayanan. Nambi sir, welcome to the GDP podcast. It's an absolute honor to have you on this podcast. So, I was watching your interviews, Nambi sir, and they're absolutely fantastic, the research I was doing. There were such amazing stories and I could sense that there is a treasure of stories hidden inside you. So today on this podcast, I would make one request to you. Can you tell us some stories that you've never spoken about anywhere in the media so that it becomes unique for our podcast? Something that people have never heard from you?
Yeah, there are, as you rightly said, there are many stories. We can touch upon some of them. Yes, I think that will be interesting also.
Yeah,
Yes.
awesome, great. But first I want to ask you about this absolutely amazing development. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla has become the second Indian to visit space after Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma. It's a big moment for our country. How do you feel?
Well, I would call it as it's a great situation, but most importantly, I consider this in a different angle altogether. Rakesh Sharma went as the first astronaut, 84.
That's true.
At that time, we had only one rocket to our credit, which is SLV-3, which was not even proven in the sense. Couple of launches, out of that one is a failure. And its own capacity itself is 40 kilograms in the orbit. But today, when Shubhanshu Shukla went, situation is totally different. We have scheduled a Gaganyaan, which is supposed to take off in another 2 years' time from now. Also, it means that we have a launch vehicle which can meet the requirement of launching a Gaganyaan. And there are so many systems and exposures, experiments, etc. But this particular episode of Shukla gives me an opportunity to expose myself as a prelude to Gaganyaan. What we are going to do, we don't have hands-on experience in that. No, this is a prelude. How we have to react, how we have to act, and how do we meet the situations, etc., etc. That exposure, I don't think it is easy. It is difficult. It's going to be difficult. You don't get unless you travel yourself. So that is what Shukla is doing. Of course, he is doing some more experiments. I am proud of him, and he is bringing laurels to this country. I only wish him as good luck, and then let him come back successfully.
The Honorable Prime Minister spoke to him, and it was a very interesting conversation. So, what is the significance of a country head speaking to the scientists, to the astronauts, and having that conversation? Do you think that has an impact on the team?
Tremendous impact, not an ordinary impact. In fact, it reminds me of John F. Kennedy, who was talking to Armstrong when Armstrong was on the moon. The kind of, it's not, it makes a lot of difference. It has to be experienced. You are not in that position, neither me, but I am telling you, it makes the guy to feel terribly important. He's talking to the head of the state.
That's true.
And most importantly, the head of the state finds time to talk at that time. That's more important. That shows how much passion he has for this kind of an activity. In fact, at this juncture, I can touch upon my own meetings with the Prime Minister. Even before he became the Prime Minister, he was doing the campaigning in all over the country, and then he came to my native place, Trivandrum.
So you met him before he was Prime Minister?
Yes. Before
the first meeting?
I met him before and after. But before, when he came, he asked for me. I was an ordinary engineer fighting my case, and so I was surprised to get a call. In all fairness, let me tell you, I was going through a mill of this espionage case. You had
going through a very tough time that time.
Yeah.
All alone.
Yeah. The Chief Minister or the state of Kerala was against me. The state
central
of
government.
Tamil Nadu was against me, and the state union government was against me.
Yeah.
That is the time this gentleman, who is a Chief Minister of a state of India, Gujarat, is asking for me. I said, all right, let me go and meet him. So I met him. It was at Hotel Muscat. He walked in, and we had originally I thought that it will be a very short meeting, but it went on for about around at least 15 to 20 minutes. Basically, he wanted to know what is this case about, how things are going on. At that time, of course, I explained to him what is the case about, and then I also wanted to know, or I understood, after all these people, when a man has come all the way down south to go for a campaign, what is his business to see a small propulsion engineer working in ISRO? Then only I understood the passion he has developed for this activity. So I'm saying even before he became the Prime Minister, I could sense the passion he has developed for space-related matters. So I was not surprised when he came for the Chandrayaan launch. He was so excited about it. Otherwise, he won't come all the way from
Yes.
Delhi to Sriharikota. And so in that sense, he was talking to Shukla. I'm sure that he must be longing to talk to him because he's so passionate. In fact, you must understand that this is very lucky to have such a person who has developed a passion, not only a passion, in an interest. He is interested in knowing many things. I'm not here to certify his knowledge, but I'm sure he is reasonably sure about what goes on in ISRO. Though he is not a scientist, I'm sure he must have understood. And that's why his continued interest comes in the picture. And also there is a flow of funding which is also reasonably better than what it was when I was working for the...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, this is a very interesting point that you touch upon. I'm given to believe that the success of the American space program was because of President Kennedy. The fact that there was funding, but also there was personal interest in it. And that significantly changed America's space fortunes. Do you see the same drive? Do you see the same vision when it comes to the Honorable Prime Minister today?
I'm saying answer is yes. But also I must mention here, we have different priorities. We have problems which are many.
Yes.
Now it is not the prerogative of the Prime Minister to allot more than the funds which he has already given. It cannot be acceptable to some of the opposition parties, and in fairness also.
Yeah.
Because you need to have certain things, fundamentally you need to have, which is giving. But it is, yes, I find it very interesting, and it is fortunate for ISRO to have such a person in the matters. Yeah.
Amazing. You brought about ISRO's name, and ISRO has seen an absolutely amazing journey from how it started small and now what it is today. Tell us about your early days in ISRO, your interactions with Kalam sir, any anecdote that comes to your mind which we've never heard before.
Yeah, there are many, but I'll just try to pick up one or two incidents. See, myself and Kalam, we used to work together. But basically we didn't have job to keep us occupied. Our group was called Rocket Engineering Group, and shortly known as RED, Red.
Achha, that was a short form.
RED.
RED.
Red is a short form. And we were supposed to do the payload integration, meaning that scientists from Physical Research Laboratory will come with their experimental pieces. Now those pieces are to be integrated with the rocket. We had two rockets. One is Nike Apache, another one is Centaur. Of course, we had another rocket, Judy Dot, which is a small French rocket. Now, so we have to interact with the scientists, and our experience with the scientists were a lot of known scientists like Satya Prakash, Kalla, Kale, and so many E.V. Chitnis, Dr. Sarabhai himself. So these experiments are there, but it's not very frequent. The launch will be there once in 3 months or once in 4 months, something like that. So we found it difficult to keep us occupied. So Kalam said that why not we do a payload recovery. I said, where is the payload? Where is the recovery? He said, let us assume that we have a rocket. Okay, first assumption. Then the second assumption is we are successfully launching it.
Okay.
That's the second assumption. And third one is we want to reuse the
payload.
Not only the payload, but also the rocket itself, the first stage, second stage, what Elon Musk is doing today. Then let us do that experiment. Anyway, with a long discussion, but we finally said we will simulate all the conditions. So we didn't have a rocket and we can't take it up. So what we said is we will go in the aircraft.
Okay.
So that will take us to an altitude.
And then you'll drop it from there.
Then we drop it from there. Now what to drop? A spent rocket kind of a thing.
Okay.
So we have, at that time the Centaur rocket is there, which is a 300 millimeter diameter rocket. And that canister, that is that portion of it, we simulated it. And then we put an instrument there. And then we also put a payload, parachute. Then tied the parachute with a rope. And then we put a cable cutter to cut the rope. And then we also put a float which is not inflated but folded and then kept there. And then we put a small gas bottle which will inflate it when it touches the
water.
All simulation. But then these are things which will work on sensing. So we just dropped it from there. From the time we dropped it, we trigger it and then drop it.
Okay.
So that from there onwards, the
countdown begins.
Countdown started. So after about some 2-3 seconds, the dropping is about 10 feet. And of course, we took it through an aircraft, which is a Pushpak aircraft,
Okay.
which was used by the flying club. And
So everything was a Jugaad.
and Captain Krishnan was obliged to do this. The only thing we told him, but of course he understood it. This is a 2-seater. So Captain took off, then we dropped it. I was the one who was asked to design the pressure cartridge as well as the cable cutter. And these are the 2 contributions I made. So it was descending, and while it is descending, the cover got blasted off. Then the entire parachute and the instrument came out. Then the cable cutter is the one which cut off the parachute. Then the parachute got deployed. And once the parachute got deployed, the whole thing is descending down slowly. And it was touching the Arabian Ocean. And then Arabian Ocean, we had a flow, that inflation took place, and then there was a color dyeing, etc. You won't believe it. It is not recorded probably in ISRO's own records. And it was, the people who contributed for this is Kalam, myself, C.R. Satya, and then A.P.K. Abdul Majid, and then V. Sudhakar. He's the man who took the payload in the aircraft. A very interesting experiment. And you will find it very interesting to note, this was during 1967, approximately 50 years back, when we didn't have even a 3-inch diameter rocket. We did the payload recovery, we did reusability, etc., etc. But that is an interesting, and it was successful.
Wow. So that spirit to do something new, to innovate, and not worry about the constraints was always there. You know, that was something that you had that as a part of the culture.
Yeah, ISRO culture itself is like that. We have altogether a different culture. Sometimes I used to wish that if ISRO culture is extended to all the organizations, including the government departments, what kind of life we would be having.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting.
So why did this happen in ISRO? Why do you think this unique culture, prospered in ISRO?
If you ask my opinion, it could be a biased opinion because I am a scientist. So it was run by a scientist. The top, the chief is a scientist himself. First it was Baba, and then Vikram Sarabhai, and then of course ISRO is Vikram Sarabhai, then Professor Satish Dhawan, UR Rao, etc.
Yeah.
And not only they are the chief of ISRO, but they were also the secretary to Department of Space. So afterwards, it is only the Prime Minister who matters in this matter.
So there was a lot of autonomy in that sense.
Autonomy is one part of it. For that matter, autonomy is available for all the departments. But the man who controls is a scientist, not a bureaucrat.
Bureaucrat.
That's what I was trying to.
That makes a huge difference. Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Kalam Saab, interests all of us. Nambi said, after he became the president, did you ever meet him, and how were those interactions with him?
Well, actually, I didn't want to trouble him when he became the president. We were having continuous interactions. But once I was in Delhi, I just thought, why not I just visit him? And knowing that he is in Delhi, I was asked to be seated. I waited for some time and then found so many people are coming and then going. So I felt that it is time I should get off. But he wouldn't allow me to go. Then he said I was waiting for an opportunity to talk to you alone for a longer time. And whenever we meet, he will recall those wonderful events, like what I told you, the payload. And then he also used to recall the nose cone getting ejected at the launch pad itself. That is another.
Oh, we need to hear that too.
another episode. So we had such a nice gentleman. In fact, during his tenure in ISRO, he delivered the SLV-3 satellite launch vehicle during 1979. Afterwards, he was going away to DRDO, and then from DRDO he went to Defense, and then to Prime Minister, President. So even in the entire ISRO, there was the review, and then that kind of a mechanisms were very much brought in by him. It was always we had nothing to hide.
A very open culture.
Open book, open culture. We like that attitude,
and he was a fun guy to work with.
Yeah, he used to crack jokes, which I don't want to say now because it will. We used to sometimes spend time in the beach, very close by.
Okay.
And then he used to ask for a tender coconut. If nobody is available, he would try to climb the coconut tree.
Really?
So, and then ask an explanation. And this because we were only 23 people totally. Today you have 20,000 people minimum in ISRO, around that number. So that way, yes.
So that incident that you were mentioning, which Kalam sir very fondly remembers, that payload incident, no, not the payload.
Nose cone getting
yes. What is that incident?
No, I don't know whether I should. Well, let me tell you that. See, the flight, I remember very well all those things. Though years have passed, I think 50 years have passed. I am sorry, I am remembering this. This is called a flight number 4501. We have some number. This 4501 flight is loaded on the launch pad, and I was a controller. Controller in the sense, every command goes through the controller, and who was holding the mic and then controlling the launch.
Okay. So you're the one whose voice we generally hear. Command station, the rocket is going to get.
Not all. I think this you will hear on some important launches, which includes the Prime Minister's visit to Tumba.
Okay.
And then some other important.
So even the voice is important. The voice.
Yeah, I think even now it is available on the record.
Wow.
When they put it there, it comes there. So what happened? This 4501 flight, there was so many experiments were clubbed together. One is an electron probe, which was submitted by Dr. Satyaprakash. And then there is accelerometer from Dr. Ramakrishna. And then there was a transponder from Dr. Kalla, and etc. I remember some of them, not all.
Yeah.
And then there was a nose cone which is covering all those things. And the nose cone is supposed to get ejected at the height of about 135 kilometers. As soon as it reaches, then there must be an ejection mechanism which pushes the nose cone out of the path. So this is supposed to take place at 135 kilometers. So when I was doing the counting, and the rocket is in the horizontal position with the launch pad, it's supposed to get elevated and then supposed to launch.
Take off.
Then at some point of time, I saw the nose cone getting ejected. Yes, right at the launch pad.
Okay.
I was surprised. What is happening? So I informed the director. Director came in the line, and then he came and discussed it with me. Then we all went there, and that's how the point I am making is, it was an unbelievable thing. It was shocking to all, but we learned many things. This is the experiment which made us to learn what is the no-fire current for the cubes which we are using. From then onwards, we started insisting on the no-fire current, which went on a long way because all the initiators do that way. But what was interesting was, this happened, you see, this is how we learned. We learned quite a bit in such small experiments and all. So that is a...
Wow. The Vikas engine is something which is, you're the father of the Vikas engine. It is the backbone of today's India's aerospace success. Any interesting anecdotes from the Vikas engine days when you were building it?
Sharath, I am not going to recall all the experiments. It was I would call it as an adventure. We had a lot of difficulties. You yourself know that the Vikas contract itself is no cash transfer.
Yes.
This is some in Sessions language. If I put it, he used to crack a joke. He used to say, "I will bring the husk, you will bring the rice. Let us mix together and then blow it. The husk will go away, and then the rice we will eat together." that kind of a thing. So that itself is that itself comes from the fact that we didn't have the funding.
That's true.
Now, the chairman of the organization himself is confessing, "I am sure that this is required, but we don't have the money."
But we'll need to figure out a way.
Yeah, what to do? In fact, he was telling that it is difficult to go. I have no counter argument to what you say, but there is no money. Now you take that burden. Then the entire discussion came out, and then said, "Okay, we will not insist on money." Then it's purely on a friendship. I think French were very good. And during my earlier visit to France, I figured out that they are willing to sell technology for money, for cash. There are rockets like L-17, etc. At that time, they were developing a rocket called M40, which is a 40-tonner. Then I asked that why not you sell the 40-tonner, which is a turbopump-fed system. Then they said, we are not going to stop there. That will be upgraded to a 60-tonner, which we name it as Viking engine. That is how the Viking contract came, which we named as Vikas. From that time onwards, it was a joint development. Many people do not know this. They think that we bought the technology from them, which is not true.
It was like a collaboration.
It is a collaboration, and our people jointly worked there. We worked there. Many of the systems we developed ourselves. In fact, if the contract is taken into account, it is only for the thrust chamber, injector and the turbopump. That's all. But we are talking, that forms only maybe 10, 20, 15% of the total thing. But the entire thing, like pressurization system, fill and drain system, all kinds of things we developed ourselves. So in that process, we were having experiences, very many. One or two experiences I can share it with you. First of all, we were not full government at that time. 1974, the contract was signed. I think we became government only during 1975.
Okay.
So, because we were not government, the rules of the government in a way
did not apply.
Not applicable. And we didn't have a medical insurance for that. And we were told that embassy will take care. Now, embassy would have taken care, but for the fact that we were living about 100 kilometers away from the Paris. operational difficulties, procedural difficulties, etc. So, but we were determined to go ahead no matter what it is, because it's a gamble. We are all young, energetic, and thoroughly medically checked up and all, so nothing will happen to any one of us. But to our disappointment, one of our engineers is from IISc Bangalore. He developed swallowing. I mean, he is not able to swallow his food.
Okay. And you were in Paris at that
I was in Paris. I was all the time in Paris. All through, excepting for some reviews, I'm asked to come to India for a week maximum. Otherwise, the captain is in the show all the time. So what happened, he had difficulty in swallowing his food. So we examined and found out a shocking information. That is, there is a growth outside the food passage, fouling with the heart.
Oh.
And that they said that it has to be surgery.
And that was blocking the food pipe.
Blocking the food passage. And so far in the Hôpital Beaujon in Paris, this hospital is where Christian Bernard himself has done the heart transplantation. First
Christian Bernard.
Yeah, Christian
Oh,
Bernard.
wow.
So that famous hospital, well-equipped hospital, they were telling me, not with an idea of threatening me, but it really threatened me, is that 4 such surgeries were done earlier, and 2 were failures and 2 were success. Meaning, it's a 50% chance we have. And the most interesting part is this engineer himself is very bold. He is a very fantastic fellow. He is telling, all right, let us go ahead. I don't need any. But at that time, one problem came in that we didn't have a medical insurance, and the cost of the surgery is about 8 lakhs French francs
Oh my
at that
God.
time. A huge money. When I asked the government is not in the mood of giving me that money. They asked me to send the patient back to India. I determined that it is not at all worth it to send him back to India.
The survival chances would be 0 then, almost 0.
Yes.
Because this is that India.
Yeah, 50 years back.
Yeah.
So what happened, I was feeling sad about it. Of course, I was also young. I didn't know what to do. On one hand, I didn't have the medical insurance. On the other hand, there is a serious surgery. And third hand, the government is not giving me the money. And the fourth and the most important point is, I don't want to lose that engineer. He is such a gem of a person. Not as an individual, but as a man
Asset
who
for
has
the
done
country.
contributed. Yes. So I was in a fits. That time, the International Red Cross Society came to my rescue and then said that they will give the money for the surgery. And I didn't accept it, but I didn't reject it either. But I was in a mood, I just felt so vexed up, agitated. So I wrote a very stinking letter and mailed this time copies to all concerned, including the Prime Minister and President, etc. Of course, I still remember that I mentioned that I am ashamed to see that medical benefits of one of the engineers who have contributed for India's space program is the cost of the medical facilities are being denied, and we have to go with a begging bowl to other agencies, etc. Honestly, I wept. But to my surprise, in 48 hours, we got the money, and then the surgery was done successfully.
It was
And
successful.
then the patient survived, and he lived for a long time. And he recently, only about 2 years back or 1.5 years back, he passed away. This is one of the fulfilling actions of myself. And you must understand the age of mine was very, I'm not very old at that time. I was only 27, 28.
Must have been a very tough call to take.
Yes, it
Because
is.
if anything goes wrong, you would have been held responsible.
This is, I feel this is true. I will tell you. Once, when I was driven from pillar to post from Bailey Hills with all my facilities, I was pushed to Tumba Beach. From Tumba Beach, I was launched to Sriharikota range. And that Sriharikota range, we failed miserably in a 3-ton engine, which you must have seen in the movie. I got mixed up. So whenever I get frustrated, it is, I don't know, at that time, it was my usual practice, accepting the responsibility for that mishap and then resign from that responsibility, resign from that job. So I did that same thing. That was my resignation letter stating that I am responsible for this blast. And this was seen by Professor Dhawan. And so in other words, this is not overnight. With ease we walked through and then brought the Vikas engine to your help or to ISRO's limelight. No, it is an untold story, which is in the movie. We have shown many of the things, but because of some time constraint, we did not say many things. But point I am making is, we had a tough time, unexplainable, undescribable, very difficult. And we had a tough time in the sense, without medical facilities, if you live abroad, you will know the kind of things. So this is what has happened.
And all through this, what was the driving force that kind of got you going? Because in your life there have been so many setbacks. Right from nothing was given to you on a platter. You had to really fight for it. Sometimes, even the acknowledgement or validation would not come from the system or the bosses. So what is that driving force that keeps you going? Is it the country? Is it an inner voice? What is that thing?
No, it's a combination of many things. Basically, I feel proud to be an Indian. And I had developed a passion, with my knowledge or without my knowledge, I don't know, for developing the liquid rocket. And that is where I started knowing that there is going to be a tough time. Because when I started this liquid engine, we have no fuel, no oxidizer, no temperature withstanding materials, nothing. In fact, many people even used to market me by saying liquid is only in Kaveri. So that is, so I think I have developed a passion. And then I wanted to stick to that passion. And as I told you that I am a proud Indian means it is not for the heck of telling. I just wanted to prove, because you are watching what is happening in US at that time. And I studied in USA. And I visited almost all their facilities. Of course, they are gigantic facilities, solid and liquid. But none of the facilities I was stalled or I was, I was seeing those facilities.
And you felt that we can also do it.
Exactly. Not only we can also do it, we should do it.
Yes.
So you ask me what made you to, so that's a determination, decision. But then the problem is, everybody, supposing if the chairman ISRO would have said, I am not convinced on what your argument, I would have argued with him, either failed or successful. That's a different story. Now, contrary to that, Chairman ISRO himself says, I am in agreement with you. But then the only problem is money is not there. So for me, all problems are solved excepting for money. So why not we make that money? Why not we get the money? Why not we see that the money is not really playing a major role in it? So that is what, but then, I made a model and then we made a working model and then we tested it in France, thanks to the French friends, successfully, not 140 seconds, which is the requirement of the PSLV, but to 180 seconds. That is the limit of the tankage what they had. I came back with a different determination this time. I said, you guys were telling me that it doesn't work, it will not work, etc., etc. Now you see it is working. So at that time I got a relief that we have made it. From that onwards it is becoming some kind of a, that we must make it to fly.
Yes.
That is how it goes.
Absolutely. Nambi sir, I want to take you through some of the significant milestones that ISRO has had in the last few years, and would want your point of views on each of these. The first one is the Chandrayaan 2, 2019. It was a setback, but what were the positives out of it, and what is your view of Chandrayaan 2 as a project?
No, Chandrayaan 2 is a great project. Please understand, I am telling you because this, what I am going to tell may not be known in public domain. See how Chandrayaan came into limelight, how Mangalyaan came into limelight. Is it a project we have made it or we have declared it, like the Gaganyaan, for example?
Yes.
No, it is not. We were having a vehicle, which is PSLV, and we were hoping to have a cryogenic vehicle. With that cryogenic, we will be going ahead with our higher capability of the synchronous launch vehicle, etc. That was our regular program.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the cryogenic went into problem. I don't have to tell you why, but it
Yes.
went through problem. Now, during that time, we were derailed. So we thought, why not we make use of the existing vehicle, namely the PSLV or GSLV, to do a Chandrayaan job or a Mangalyaan job. But then we had easily made up our mind. In the process, we will learn every. See, can anyone with a sense will go to Chandrayaan just not even to drop a material, just to go around and then come back?
Absolutely.
Same thing is with Mangalyaan. But we said, we have no choice.
It
we
was
have
a
only one
calculated
vehicle.
risk in a way.
No, only one vehicle you
That's
have.
the only option you have.
Only option you have.
Yeah.
That is how actually Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan, in my opinion, were not really born in that way. It was made.
Yes.
It was made as a spare arrangement, etc. So that is how Chandrayaan. So we were happy, we were satisfied, we were able to do the job. Because in Chandrayaan 1, it was just going round only, it
Yeah.
came back. Chandrayaan 2, which was supposed to drop some material, which failed because a very, very small mistake we made on the stability of the one which landed there on the moon. But Chandrayaan 3 was a grand success. We landed on
Absolutely.
the southern moon. All the three put together gave us enormous confidence. Okay, anything can be done. See, you must understand, with supposing if you are able to run a family with a hand-to-mouth budget, successfully, happily living, then if you have little more money, what would be your situation?
Absolutely.
That is what we are.
That's the story of India.
That is the story of India. So that is why we went.
One thing that common people like us were touched by was, the interaction between the Honorable Prime Minister and Dr. Sivan during Chandrayaan 2. When he publicly consoled him when that setback happened. What impact does that have on the scientist community and on the morale of ISRO?
Now it is very obvious. See, we were all upset. It is something like, a house which somebody who matters a lot is dead.
It's like a personal loss.
Personal loss. Everybody, one and all. Either inside the ISRO or those. I was the man who was outside the ISRO.
Yes.
I mean, after. Speechless. Nothing can console you. At that time, here is a man who comes and consoles. He is head of the state. I would say that he is more worried or more upset than the person who is concerned. That gives you an immense satisfaction that, okay, it reminds me, in any house where the man who matters dies, then other people joining together and then console each other. So that way it was good. But that gave us the confidence that we can go ahead with the next step.
Yes.
That is, see, the Gaganyaan was born only in that mode. See, today we are going ahead with our Gaganyaan, and then there is a prelude here now with respect to that. So I am sure if not 2027, 28, we will achieve the Gaganyaan without any difficulty. That means what? You are in par with anybody else. Whatever you have lost due to various reasons, you would have gained by this. Now you will become one of the competitors.
players.
Yes. You can run the show with a competition. Your caste is so low. Of course, this is something which has to be worked out differently. But I am happy that the Gaganyaan will tell, it's some kind of, it will tell the story. Yes, you people were trying to beat me, I have won. So that kind of a thing.
Nambi sir, you interact with so many people outside the country, with the international community. Have they started looking at India differently in the last 10, 12 years? Do you see a shift in the way they look at us as a country?
No, it is obvious. It is something like, our international diplomacy itself, I don't have to explain it because I am not a diplomat. But I am able to see these reactions. For example, if you read New York Times and some of the newspapers, I don't want to name them, that itself you can find out what kind of reactions are coming there. Let it be Indo-Pakistan war, or let it be Mangalyan, or let it be Kaganyan, or let it be this Shukla's travel. The way in which they tell you is something other. You remember that jokes, somebody having a snake charmer.
Yeah.
Playing a music, and then the snake is dancing, and there it is written as SLV. So that days are gone.
That days are gone.
And of course we were carrying nose cones and the instruments in a bullock cart, in a bicycle. In fact, I myself was carrying the dart payload by a normal State Transport Corporation bus.
Really?
Yes. So
what was that story?
The dart payload, we got it because we didn't have any machines inside.
Okay.
So we got it fabricated in a place called Papanangod. From there, I had to bring that for launching from Tumba. For that, it is shining. So I was worried that the shining will attract the attention of all the people.
Yeah.
So what we had is some newspaper, wrapped it around. And while I was coming by, and there was no jeep, the only one jeep and one car. Car is used by the director, and then we have no other vehicle. So in the bus we were coming, and due to wind.
This was like a KSRTC bus.
KSRTC bus, yes. What is the shame in it? We came by
awesome.
That. Yes. And then what happened, the most interesting part is, the newspaper gave way and then started showing the shining part of it to the entire community. They were looking at you. And I have to say, yes. So these are all stories which are unforgettable. You can't remember those stories.
It is amazing. Nambi sir, wanted to touch upon two people who've had tremendous impact on you. One is Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. Any anecdote, any story that you remember from your days with him?
No, there are many. You see, there are two incidents I will try to tell you. I was going to Princeton during 1969, August. And the flight is Annapurna, 707. Without myself knowing what it is, Dr. Sarabhai was walking. And he was in the first class. And he saw me there and he sat by my side. I was in the economic class. And the entire journey we were traveling, he was also coming for his sister's cataract or surgery or something like that. We were talking. At that time, I at least impressed him the need for a liquid propulsion and why I am going to Princeton and how I will be benefited by Louis Crocco. And above all, I told him that there are so many missile systems also using the liquid propulsion systems, etc. I don't know whether he knew this already or whether he is coming to know for the first time. He was enthralled in that entire conversation. At least I assume that, because otherwise he would have gone
back to his seat.
But then he gave me all the encouragement, saying that go ahead and then do the liquid. What is necessary, you should take care of it, etc. Then he allowed me to go to France, go to Kines and so on and so forth. And in the same process only, I went to Rolls-Royce to get one of their cryogenic engines, and then in the middle only I came to know that he is no more. And that is one story. I can never forget that approximately 20 hours travel he was with me and then talking to me. Another occasion was in ISRO, when I was working on the solid rocket. There was a need and requirement for a charging hall. And that charging hall was to be located in an explosive area. But we have only one explosive area, which is called RPP, Rocket Propellant Plant. So, but they were not allowing me to do that. So I was sad. So Dr. Sarabhai found out the mood of the people, and then he didn't argue further. Then at the end of the meeting, he asked me that, are you free tomorrow morning? I said, anytime, whatever you want. I want to talk to you something. Can we meet at 5 o'clock in the morning? I said, okay, fine. And 5 o'clock, it was heavily raining. It was with no hope in my mind. I put all my overcoat and all, and then went in my scooter to the RPP area. Which I never had a hope that he will be there. But it was heavily raining, and then Dr. Sarabhai said, hey, you are better equipped than me. He was there. And I was first. Then he said, you told me that there is a place suitable for the charging plant. Where is it? Can you show me?
Wow.
I showed him the place. He said, all right. Do you have the paper? And I gave him the paper. Immediately he said, approved and signed. I can never forget these two incidents of Dr. Sarabhai. I think it's a loss that we lost him
Yes.
in the middle of his life. Yes.
Amazing. Any anecdote with Dr. Dhawan that you fondly remember?
No, Dr. Dhawan has a lot of anecdotes, but he is very good in English. And I was always we were trying to sort of make the engine, he will not allow it. So he will say, wait. Then some more analysis on that. Now this you didn't analyze it that way. This one you have to see the speed if it changes. And very interestingly, he made the PSLV configuration. He said the PSLV configuration, the last stage should be compatible with NASA. So we made the
changes. Mm-hmm.
Then he said it should also be compatible with Russia. That also being me. Then I said, sir, one more thing you should make it compatible with ESA also. So that the humble story is, he happily smiled and laughed and things like that. But then one anecdote, if you want, I will tell you, he said he will never allow metal to be cut. He will always fly his rockets in paper. I want to fly my rockets in paper first.
Okay.
And if it flies successfully, let me cut the blade.
So it will be like a paper prototype first.
No, paper analysis.
Analysis.
Yes, that is what it is.
Achha, so you'll analyze it on paper.
Yes.
You convince me, and then we'll spend.
Then they will spend. You see, when Professor Dhawan was made as the chairman to choose whether to buy Airbus or not, government made him as a single-man committee. At that time, there was the technical director of Ariane Space, whom I knew earlier when he was in USA. He came to me and then said, your boss is the person who is going to decide the purchase of Airbus. I was very interested. I said, so what? Then this man said, no, if he is buying it, we will be greatly benefited. At that time, nobody was buying Airbus. I said, forget it, man. Just. Then he said, listen. In the event, he decides in favor of Airbus. Then you tell me, we will give you the entire technology of Viking and everything together.
So now that was interesting.
Yes.
That was
So
a
I
good
went
bet.
and very carefully built up my
Case.
case. Then I told, sir, if you happen to decide, I am not otherwise.
I'm not influencing you.
Yeah, I'm not. If you happen to decide to in favor of Airbus, then I think they are willing to. He looked at me staring. Get lost. But most interesting part is, it was his decision in favoring Airbus, and we lost the technology we otherwise would have got. But I am appreciating him because he's so honest
Yes.
to the core.
Absolutely.
He's honest to the core. You asked me about the culture, he created that culture.
Wow. Amazing. Now, when you look at the future of India's aerospace, what role would private players play in this? Nambi sir.
Certainly, even today when, we were not originally interested in privatization. For some reason, we thought that the technology will be spilled over and then it can go to different hands. But actually, I played some role in the privatization. Years back,
Yeah.
you take the Vikas engine. This engine, we wanted to get it done as a whole by some private parties. But there were a lot of resistance.
Absolutely, because that must have been a radical idea at that
Yes,
time.
yes. But then what happened? We located some two people. Those two people will fabricate it, but then we will be doing the assembly. I wanted the assembly also to be given to outside so that it comes as an assembled piece. But we did that with the two people. It was good. At that time, in a way, it is privatization. But today, we are now talking about a lot of startups. I happen to go through some of the startups, and
And you play a advisory role with a lot of such think tanks. Right?
in a limited sense, I was working with an organization in Tamil Nadu. The primary interest there is Tamil Nadu should have some aerospace industries located in Tamil Nadu.
In Tamil Nadu.
So we wanted to put in that way. Of course, the launch sites are Sriharikota and
That's true.
Kulasekharapattanam. So it is going to be there. But more important is that I looked at the various companies which are having the so-called startups. Many of them are not having the focus. They really don't know what they are doing. They are doing something. I feel if the government wants these startups to be more meaningful, there should be a regulatory body which should regulate them and then make sure that whatever the startup is trying to do is in alignment with that of ISRO, or is it's in alignment with the international marketing.
Absolutely.
Now, this is, according to me, is not there in the present day situation. So it will be waste of energy. And also, one more important thing is in ISRO, see, after all, if somebody is going to be a consultant or going to inspire those people, it must be somebody from ISRO.
Yes.
Now, there are retired people from ISRO. Some may like to work, some may not like to work. That is one group of people. Another group of people is they are about to retire. 5 years from now, they will retire. But supposing you take a case where that man who is going to retire in 5 years time frame, and he is not going to make a substantial progress if continues in ISRO.
But he can make a significant progress
Role,
outside.
exactly. Those people you can identify, you can try to give them an incentive or permission
Yeah.
and to do this code of conduct rules,
Yes.
etc. So in that process, you will make the startups more meaningful.
Absolutely. They will be more aligned and they will be more purposeful.
Exactly.
That's a very interesting thing. Nambi sir, reusability of rockets is an conversation that keeps happening. A lot of startups are chasing that as one of their key objectives. What is your view on this?
No, actually it is a highly questionable matter. See, if you take solid propulsion motors, if you want to reuse it, you have to machine out the ablatives, you have to machine out various things. which will be expensive.
Yeah.
The concept of reusability itself is lost there. If it is
It becomes counterproductive.
counterproductive. But on the other hand, liquid systems, yes, you can reuse it. In a way, it is good also. But it depends whether it is in the first stage or whether it is in the second stage. The technology relating to reusability is easy in the first stage. But in the second stage, I am not sure about it. Let us see how it comes.
So any country which is good at it?
According to me, Elon Musk is doing for the first stage, I think, for the, what is that vehicle?
SpaceX.
SpaceX. They are using, for the first stage, they are using it. I'm not sure. For the second stage, I don't think that he is using it. I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think India's time has come, Nambi sir?
India's time has come already. It is working very well. I mean, whatever said and done, it is necessary to create the funding. Now, I am conscious to the fact that you need funding. You can't come from funding magic. So you have to create it. In ISRO, earlier in Vikas, we made a no cash transfer agreement. Now this may not work anymore. But you have to sell your product and then make money out of it. Or the ESA collaboration, in that way you can short close some of the shortcomings. But in any case, India's time has come already, and I think we are working forward.
Awesome. Nambi sir, Rocketry was one movie that completely got the nation's imagination. And we first time actually realized what you went through. A lot of people actually got to know about you through that movie. But telling your own story must have been a tough call to take, and especially who will tell that story. So why did you choose Madhavan of all the people who came to you?
Well, there are many people who came because the story had all the masalas, what you would imagine. But I put the condition prima facie that you should tell only the truth and truth alone. I will not permit you to cinematize it and make it
take the creative liberties.
No, that will not. For example, you can't make me to beat a police constable when he is hitting me. That kind of a thing is not on. So many of them dropped it and went, excepting for one person who was willing, but then apparently he had some political pressure, so he didn't. He also dropped out. Then I lost hopes that there would be. But then came Madhavan. Now Madhavan, when he came by nature.
Had you ever met him before?
No, only on that occasion I am meeting him. Now Madhavan is by qualification he is an engineer. So when he listened to the story, actually he was, I wouldn't call it, he was so passionate and he became, I thought he was not weeping, but he was emotional. Then he asked various occasions, why this happened, this happened, this happened, this. Then I was not even telling that I am a Princetonian. Then casually when I mentioned I am a Princetonian, oh, Princeton, can you please tell me more? Then NASA fellowship, oh, NASA, like that, you know. Then he said, sir, why don't you tell the entire thing? What I considered as less important, for him it was more important. Anyway, finally he agreed to the condition. And in that movie, everything, 95 to 97% of the movie carried only the truth. And I think that the truth, because of the truth only, the movie became a grand success. And he's, in fact, he transformed himself into myself. Certain things I didn't tell, but he observed it. In fact, once I asked him, many people do not know who is Nambi Narayanan. So you can act the way in which you want it. They will take it as
Nambi Narayanan. Yeah. There is no comparison.
There is no comparison. He said, no. I want to show the original Nambi Narayanan, how he walks, how he sits, how he talks, etc. So to that extent he was...
and you saw that in his
He
acting?
saw to that. For example, one thing I was... Amme Bhagavati is some dialogue which I used to tell.
Amme Bhagavati.
Amme Bhagavati. I never told this to him, but he has introduced it without even asking me. So that way he's a great guy. I am happy that he did that movie. Very.
And then you also got an opportunity to meet the Honorable Prime Minister and show him the film. How was that experience?
Oh, that is very interesting because I wanted to show it to the Prime Minister because when I met him before he became the Prime Minister, I told him at the end of our parting, I said, wish you all the best and I will see you in Delhi when you become the Prime Minister.
Wow.
And he smiled and then said, okay. Afterwards, I got an opportunity. Then it was a brief meeting. When I made this movie, I somehow felt that this movie must be shown to him. He's not going to be dragged into a theatre, or he's not going to be that easily available for me to show it in his own house. So we planned it in such a manner. Finally, he agreed for 3 to 5 minutes. He will see. Then we planned to cut various scenes. Some scene will come for 3 minutes, some 7 minutes, 6 minutes, like that. So we made something like about 10 bits, totaling to close to an hour. So we wanted to show this first one, second one. And of course, the torturing scene was the second one. And what is 3 minutes finally ended up into 19 minutes. And he was emotional and he asked, are you saying that this has happened? This has really happened? I said, yes. In fact, what we are showing you is less. So that way we had an opportunity to show him. And well, that's a movie part of it.
Amazing. Okay, Nambi sir, it's time for a rapid fire. Are you ready to take off?
Why not? Whatever it is, I have no choice.
Okay. Rocket science or courtroom drama? What tested your patience more?
I didn't get the question at all.
Rocket science or courtroom drama? What tested your patience most?
Rocket science.
ISRO in the 70s or ISRO of today? What would you prefer?
No comparison.
Solitary confinement or public silence?
Terrible and something which you can't accept it.
What was more closer to your heart? Cryogenic engine launch or Padma Bhushan moment?
Certainly cryogenic engine launch.
If you could revisit one moment from your life, what moment would it be?
My firing of the Vikas engine. First firing of the Vikas engine at France.
One innovation you wish India had cracked first?
No, we cracked many things. Only thing is we were not having enough funding to
Scale it up.
scale it up.
One movie that you watch any number of times?
I'm a very poor moviegoer. And even Rocketry I have watched honestly after the completion only once.
Okay. Do you listen to songs?
Yes, I listen to songs.
One song that instantly lifts up your mood?
There's so many. I listen mostly Tamil songs because
Who's your favorite singer?
S.P. Balasubramaniam is one of the famous singers.
And your favorite composer?
Both. Yeah, M.S. Vishwanathan is my favorite composer. I belong to the old generation.
So but you inspire the young generation. Nambi sir, there are some questions from our young audience. Are you game answering them?
Why not? Tell me.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so Arjun says you've seen ISRO evolve from chalkbook sketches to moon landings. What's that one thing in ISRO culture that should never change, no matter how big it gets?
See, ISRO culture is actually a revolution from what we are going through today. In the sense, in ISRO, everything is open. There is nothing is hidden. In fact, let's assume Professor Dhawan is the chairman ISRO. You can call Professor Dhawan as Professor Dhawan, what you are saying is wrong in a public meeting.
In a public meeting.
You can say that on his face without any fear. Can you tell me which organization you will be able to say this? That is ISRO culture and we are proud of it. So, in fact, that takes everyone with you. Because nobody discriminates. Professor Dhawan is a chairman and he should hold the responsibility or something like that. Such a grand people. ISRO is,
Wow.
yeah. That is the whole thing.
Okay, Parth says that, so you were working on space tech much before people understood what it was. How did your family handle that piece? Because a lot of things that you were working on might have been complex for them to understand. So would you come home and explain to them what was happening? And was there a connect between what you were working and your family? Did they always understand what are you on to?
In a way, yes. In a way, yes. Because we are coming late and I should have an excuse why I am late. So that late explanation will be only this job explanation. So they will be listening to it with anxiety and then when my late arrival will not matter anymore. Afterwards they will be happy and then they will go. So that way they were with me. In fact, I can say very openly, without their support, it would have been impossible for me to win that spy case. Which
absolutely.
I'm talking about, yes. They are fully with us. They gave us the full support.
Great. Okay, Neha says that we all dream of doing something meaningful, but how do we know that what we are working on today will matter tomorrow?
You take the example which I have explained in this interview earlier, the payload recovery, and then 50 years back, how we knew that it will become a reality. 50 years back, when we didn't have even a 3-inch diameter rocket. So, according to me, even the Gaganyaan, for example, International Space Station, it is going to become a reality. As you know, I have no doubt about it. Yes.
Amit has been following a lot of your interviews and he says that you speak about God. I also want to become a scientist and, and I also have interest in spirituality. So does interest in spirituality, will it make me a better scientist?
No, it's a matter of opinion. According to me, if you are believing in God, it is not necessarily that you should be a scientist or you are a man. You believe in God. You always pray to God whenever you are in difficulty, whenever you want His support, whenever you want moral boost because of Him, etc. Not necessarily you should become a scientist. But the other way around, just because you are a scientist, you should not believe in God is the argument which is put forward, which I don't agree. I am a man who believes in God. Yes, I believe in God. And in fact, I will go to the level of telling that all good things happening to me are because of the blessings of God. So it's a matter of your opinion. How faith matters a lot. In fact, assuming that you are not having any faith in God. What is wrong if you have faith and then say, God, please give me this help. So even things, as long as you are doing the right things, that prayer will help you to go further forward.
Great. Any message to the youth of India that you'd like to give to this platform?
Youth of India, I have only one message. You see, in your own perseverance, in your own area, you develop a field which you want to work. Don't think that it will come just like that. It will not come in a platter. You will have problems. You will be going through a big mill. You will be going through different difficulties. But as long as your goal is clear and you have full visibility and you have focused your approach, no matter what the difficulties are, you will overcome. Only thing is, it's a matter of time. So continue to work till you get the results. And finally, you will win.
Awesome. Nambi sir, this conversation was absolutely amazing. Some really new stories that we'd never heard before and insightful as always. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insights.
Thank you very much.
It was an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.